Now that we're clearing the debris and we get to see exactly how the impacted areas are affected, I want to talk about the death toll and the fact that more than 2 million people are still without power over in Florida. Hit a like for the algorithm. Let's get it popping, y'all.
This morning, the tragic aftermath of Milton coming into focus. The powerful hurricane leaving devastation statewide. In hard-hit Minnesota Key, homes ripped off their foundations, while in Daytona Beach, whole communities swallowed by flooding. In Sarasota, washed up boats and debris littering the streets.
The storm was significant, but thankfully this was not the worst-case scenario.
Still, all across Florida, before and after pictures telling the story. This morning, millions without power remain in the dark. At least 9 cities experiencing record rainfall. First responders helping hundreds during the hurricane.
I want that shirt vehicle so bad, bro. I was looking it up yesterday. I started doing research. This one right here.
First responders.
That one right there, I want that vehicle. I don't even know what I would use it for. I have no reason to get it. I probably won't buy it, but it's just, you know how we are. Us boys with our toys. Man, listen, I be car shopping almost every other day. I follow this content creator. Shout out to all of my content creators. I follow this content creator on YouTube called Bembly. He's called Bembly. And he's like a designer, and he goes through. And his channel, he's now approaching. He got 2 different channels. One of his channels is approaching close to 100,000 subscribers. But he reacts to all of the new cars that's coming out. And then he goes through and he compares it to the old version, and he says whether he likes it or not and what he would change. And he goes through and he shows what he would do different, or he designed different ones and all of that stuff. And so he kind of talks about it on that front. And I'm obsessed. I love cars, and I really, really love his channel. So shout out to Bembly. I've never actually shouted you out before, but shout out to you because I am a subscriber to your channel when I check out all of your drops. But when stuff drop, they dropped the new refreshed version of the Rolls-Royce Ghost yesterday. I said, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. When they dropped the new Aston Martin Vanquish, I'm on the phone, read a call, Aston Martin to ask how long it's gonna take me to get it. 6 months, put down 30,000. Okay, we gotta put a deposit down. Almost every car that I like, I'll be thinking, I'll be in there planning. Okay, listen, all right, so we're gonna build this house, and I'm gonna set aside about $150,000 for that right there. And then when the time comes, 6 months after that, I'll go ahead and make the purchase. Almost every car, I'll be out there redesigning. I'll be on the website looking at it. I don't know. Maybe we should get that is what I love to do in my spare time. I look at houses, I redesign houses, and I look at how I can build a new house. Thankfully, I'm in a position to actually implement that now, and I'm building for real. And we're going to talk about that on Block Club tomorrow. But cars, man, every car that come out, I'll be thinking to myself, I need to get a bigger garage. Where I'm going to store it at? Same thing with this shirt vehicle. That's what men do. We love cars. We love cars.
Helping hundreds during the hurricane. More than 500 people rescued from this flooded apartment complex in Clearwater. A 14-year-old boy floating on debris in Hillsborough County, saved. And the Coast Guard rescuing a man miles offshore, clinging to a cooler. In Tampa, some neighborhoods still inundated with water.
Are you surprised to see this amount of water in this neighborhood?
Yes, his name is Bembly on YouTube. It's B-E-M-B-L-I. B-E-M-B-L-I. Tell him I sent you. His name is Bembly, B-E-M-B-L-I. It's on YouTube. It's dope. Actually, I'll drop his link into the description just for the people that want to check it out. He got a really great channel.
Rescuers going door to door, finding this woman in her 90s who struggles to see in a flooded home all alone.
She was scared and didn't want to leave, and they finally just convinced her to get on the boat and get out of harm's way.
Many residents in Milton's path prepared for the hurricane, but were overwhelmed by a string of tornadoes it spawned.
Walked outside and annihilated. The neighborhood annihilated.
According to initial reports, at least 38 tornadoes touched down. From above Port St. Lucie, 38? You can see homes and everything in them shredded.
See, that's the thing. We focus mostly on just the big cities like the Tampa. Oh my God, Tampa, they survived, they missed it. It's a trillion smaller cities that's all around it that's absolutely destroyed and decimated. And yes, people was dying. And so again, one life, let alone 10 lives, let alone 14 lives, 20 lives, that they're now finding people in this debris area that failed to evacuate and said that we're going to hold it down. See, we don't never had no conversation about them because dead people can't tell their stories. They can't tell their stories how they was probably like, oh my God, right before it was the end, man, I should have evacuated. Oh my God, I should have evacuated. 38 tornadoes, should have got up out of there, man.
From above Port St. Lucie, you can see homes and everything in them shredded.
Crazy, bro.
There were 6 fatalities alone from a tornado that struck Fort Pierce. But as Floridians pick up the pieces, despite being traumatized by hurricane after hurricane, many residents say they're committed to rebuilding.
I think we all give each other the strength to continue.
Steph, boy, there's so much work to be done, but what are some of the biggest challenges that officials are facing going forward?
Well, Hoda, those rescues, first of all, that is their priority. Once they get the rescues, there are so many logistical challenges. They have the power we mentioned. There are still 2.4 million people without power. They also have to restore water. There's a water pump, a vital water pump here in the city of Tampa that needs to be restored. And then for people in this neighborhood, this is a low-income neighborhood. All of these people have been displaced. They need someplace to live, and not just short-term, but likely long-term. All of these are going to be huge challenges in the days to come, Hoda.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fallout from this, and a lot of people is just not taking it into consideration. Here's a small town from a content creator. His name is, let me make sure I get it right, Jonathan Petramala. Jonathan Petramala has 124,000 subscribers, and so he was on the ground in some of these small towns actually documenting what happened. Look at that destruction. Look at that damage.
Calling something a 1-2 punch is a cliche, but when it's Hurricanes Helene and Milton, it's a knockout. South of Tampa, 75 miles, residents of towns like Minnesota Key and Grove City, who thought they'd already survived the worst storm of their lives, learned worse has no limit.
That was Helene.
Okay.
And then I don't have my marker got floated away, so I can't. But the black tape is where this one is, this Milton.
Wow.
Yeah, Helene, it ruined your insulation underneath, okay, and your vapor barrier, and obviously the particle board, this kind of stuff, the original flooring.
Yeah.
And then your top flooring, okay.
Yeah.
Man, I'll be getting up out of there, bro. I ain't standing.
It's fixable. We'll go put more money in it, but now it's like.
Well, the construction industry is never going to be short of opportunity, considering that people always want to rebuild. Lowe's and Home Depot, maybe I need to go and look into their stock, especially after hurricane season.
Completely rebuild the whole thing inside.
But after Hurricane Milton, and this old Florida trailer park still standing on its foundation isn't just luck, it's a luxury.
Harry's trailer, see his front porch, that cement?
That's the front porch.
That was like mine, kinda.
Yeah.
His trailer was all the way over there on that side, up against that.
And it was moved how many feet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow, 50 feet?
Yeah.
And this is from Milton,
Milton, yes.
not Helene.
No, not Helene.
It was still standing from Helene over there. There's no other way to describe it but significant, the storm surge from Hurricane Milton. This was the front porch of this home that was pushed at least 50 feet into the neighbor's house. Just next door.
Look at the steps still there.
That house caught on fire overnight. Everywhere, homes are a total loss here. And before Hurricane Helene, people who live here say they'd never seen water inside their home before.
It was my wife's grandparents put it here, and then my wife's parents took it over, and they owned it since then, and they passed, and we acquired it, and been in the family for 50 years almost.
Well, no more.
Now it's gone.
Time to move, big dog.
I mean, this of course is the carport.
Yep.
Which, you know, is history. Oh, the carport. What I built stayed. What was here.
Yeah, this frame here, yep.
This was our lanai. This was our lanai, and I mean our kitchen was there in the living room, and you know, this is what we got now.
This is the part of life that people don't talk about. They say, oh yeah, you know what, Tampa was okay. Every other small town that was around it is destroyed because it wasn't just about the waves. It wasn't just about the storm surge. It was also about the wind. It was about the tornadoes. It was about all of that. And so, it's 2 million people still without power. They still finding bodies. Everything is flooded and people have been displaced. So at the end of the day, they still don't have no home. They still ain't got nothing to come back to. Y'all keep being Florida strong, though.
So many people, they see the hurricanes and they watch the videos. They see the repeated hurricanes and they say, who lives in Florida? Why do you live here? I mean, I guess I can guess just by looking right there.
There you go.
Hurricanes like Milton, they don't just rip apart homes. They unravel the threads of entire communities, friendships, neighbors, the shared history of a place, gone in a night, scattered like debris.
That's going to be a question for everybody.
She's snowburned. She's sunburned.
Unfortunately, a lot of the renters
around her whole life. Now she turned into a leather bag. I see people like that all the time. They be tanning their whole life. They be under the tanning beds and they always in the sun. Then they be looking like a raisin. Looking just like some cowhide. Just like my Gucci jacket. They be looking just like my Gucci jacket, they skin. Like rubber. Been tanning their whole life. Now you ain't got no home to go to.
Around here are going to rent to seasonal people and not to the actual residents. So I don't know where we're all going to go.
We have a new high water mark in this neighborhood of Inglewood. It's close to the bridge to go out to Minnesota Key. It's about 5.5 feet. It appears just from the outside of these homes. And what is just incredibly sad, everyone in this neighborhood just suffered through catastrophic storm surge from Hurricane Helene 2 weeks ago. And you can see just how much work was done to demolish and remove and pile up to try and start that rebuilding process. And then everything has just completely started over. It's a mess. Everything's been scattered, lifted, tossed around.
Everything's all over the place now. I mean, none of this shit is mine. Their stuff is mine, and that car's toast, and now they can't even tow it out of here.
Was this bad
I don't even know
before?
Where to start to get this stuff cleaned up now.
Don't worry about it. Hey, listen, anybody that, and shout out to Jonathan. Make sure y'all go and check out his channel also. Anybody that's buying a car from Florida, don't. Do the Carfax. If it's from Florida, water damp, get up out of there. That's a hurricane vehicle.